Hey guys, it's the Modern Day Nana. Alright, I have been out here making a mess. We are making plaster flowers out of this plaster of Paris, some water, and some old paints, and some old flowers. Okay, so what we need to do is start off with, just pour a little water, probably about half a cup into your bowl, and then just dump some plaster Paris inside. Now what we want to do is we want to make this about the consistency of pancake batter. So just use an old bowl, an old paintbrush, and mix it together, and it will start thickening up as you mix. Now you're going to get messy, so you might as well just plan on it. Okay? I am a complete and total disaster over here, but that's okay. The katydids are out, so I'm going to try to do this, but if not, I'll just voice over it. Okay, so it's starting to thicken up. Okay, it's coating onto my fingers, onto my hands, and I think that's going to be good. Now you can always add a little water if you need to as you go. Now I'm just going to take some old paints. I just want to use them up, and I'm just going to maybe squirt them in. And this is a great way. Nah, I think that one's done for. This is a great way to use your old stuff. Here's another one. And that way we can just use it up. This is kind of a melting pot for what we've got going on. And I think these make me think of fall, and they kind of make me think of Halloween. So they're just kind of a fun. I'll just take my paintbrush, it's wet. Oh, see, that's going to be a nice color. So let's just stir it up. See, now it seems like it makes it, the acrylic paint, it has a reaction, and it seems to thicken it up and make it nice and creamy. That's a little too thick, so we'll just add a dab of water and stir it around. Now I'm just taking all the old little random flowers I have. The cheaper the better. You know, all those things that don't look quite really nice enough on their own. So see, that's about, it needs to be a little thicker. Let's see if it thickens up as we go. So I've just got a pile of random flowers. That we're going to use. And we're just going to dunk them in. I'm a mess over here. So we're just going to dunk them in. And if a little bit of the color comes through, that's okay. And I'm just going to lay them out on some parchment paper. That's just what I had. You could use wax paper. I don't think you need to use anything special. You could just use the cardboard. But they are messy. So I'm just going to dunk them like this and just lay them out. Okay? I'll just do the stems and all. Now I do say with the sturdier flowers, you know, they'll kind of keep their firmness a little bit, but that's no biggie. And I honestly don't even know what we're going to do with these, but I just thought it would be fun to do some and have them on hand. And that way, when we're doing our fall and Halloween stuff, we can have these to go to. Oh, this little one's cute. So see, I'm just dunking them in, laying them out on some paper. Let's do all these little ones. Kind of make it like our accent color. And these will be neat. I don't think we're going to be able to play with them a lot as far as moving them around and pulling and pushing and bending and all that stuff. But I think once we get them in place, we'll be set. We'll just do the leaves and everything. So this was just some plaster of Paris, some water, get you an old bowl, and it will wash out, but still. And whatever color of paint. And then after we get this done and we let these dry, we'll come back and I think we'll do a little bit of a wash on them to make them look more antique, because these are a little too bright. Probably going to be a little too bright. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so there we go. There's that. I'm going to wash this out and we'll do some yellow. Okay guys, so we got, I got my flowers covered in plaster. Some of them look really cool. Some of them, you know, they're all right. But we're going to work with them and see if we can make some sort of little like lay down arrangement. So I just took the flowers. Let me show you. I thought these turned out really cool, but see, now they were stiffer. So I'm just wondering if maybe we do want to use a little stiffer flower. So if you have some that are kind of shabby that you got at the thrift store or something, this was just some I had old from wherever, old as the hills, but look how nice they turned out. Now, Um, Now this one's not bad though, and this is from a it might not be a Dollar Tree one because it's pretty full, but it was pretty flimsy. So I feel like that one did good. I don't want to move it too much because if you move it, it starts cracking off. So we'll go ahead and do a few with. We're gonna do the wash now. Here's a rose, and let me grab. There's a couple more. Roses that look pretty cool. This isn't a rose. I think it's like a magnolia or something. That one turned out pretty cool. And then look how cool that one is. So those are pretty neat. This is where I laid it down to see it's flat, but you're going to have to, I'll probably lay it down anyway. So that's still a little bit damp. But what we're going to do, a wash to make them look old because, you know, they don't look old. They don't look dry. So I just grabbed some paint. This is just some brown paint from Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead. I probably got about, this is just going to be my designated bowl now for this, or for, crafting in general. I'm just going to pour some in, but it needs to be a wash. This is not like the plaster. This is just water and paint. And we can just brush it on and see what we think, or we can just dunk it in where we can dunk. I'm just going to dunk this in real quick because I don't want my plaster coming off. Oh yeah, see, look how much cooler that's going to make it. And then I'm just going to brush some on the leaves. And it's a nice sunny day, so we'll just leave this out here to dry. And that's going to look a lot more aged and look like it's more like dried flowers. Oh yeah, that looks cool. So I'm just going to pretty quick dunk it and then shake off the excess and lay it out to dry. I think that's going to do the job for us. Okay, so I got this box from the thrift store. Now, if you're out and see boxes or containers of any sort that you think might work for a project, or you just want a little stash, I saw this one. It was a couple of bucks at Goodwill, so I stuck it in my stash. I've had it for a little while, and I went in and it was perfect for what I wanted to do in this situation. Now, that foam came from the neighbor's trash. Uh, when the lady passed away next door, I told you guys, I showed you a haul, and she had so many cool things, but this was, she had used it probably for one project, and it was a big sheet of foam. So anyway, that's what it is. Now, when I cut the foam out for this, I cut it about an inch or inch and a half higher than the top of the container. Okay, because you want to have some room to stick some flowers in there horizontally. Now this is the end of my old placemats. I got 4 of those old placemats, and I have used those things. I hate it when something ends, but you make way for new stuff. So I have just been unraveling this. I've used it on all kinds of projects in the past. And now we're going to use it to make a trim around the top of the box, just to make it look a little more finished. Now, it was easier for me to just do the straight line and cut it, and that way we could get it nice and neat instead of trying to wrap it around. and it ends up looking good. And honestly, it's going to be covered by flowers. So then I just take some satin spray paint. Almost picked up the yellow there on accident. Shake it good, and it's just a linen, cream, whatever. And I'm just going to spray that braided area that we glued on so that it looks cohesive, like it was there, like it's been part of the piece. And you can do that easily. You know, if you feel like something needs a little more oomph, you can really blend it in together. And so that's what we do. You know, we just, and like I have said in previous videos, it's nice to have some things on hand, like a decent off-white or white and a black spray paint. I've been outside this summer. I have fully used it and been so glad to be out here. We lost the sound on this part, that's why I'm overdoing it, but you could hear the locust on the other sound video. So now I'm just going to take and I'm just going to do a dry brush technique. Now my paintbrush was in some water, so I just shake it off good and just dab my old paintbrush in some brownish paint, kind of tannish brownish paint, and have a light hand with this. When you're going over this and you want to dry brush it, just have a pretty light hand. As you can see, I am there, and I'm also getting that top part that we glued on just to kind of, you know, add that, make it look like it was has always been one piece. And this just kind of roughs it up. I mean, we're not doing black necessarily on any of this project, and you'll see how I use this in an upcoming project with some other things. And none of it's black, but it's still creepy and kind of foreboding the project I make with it. So I've got all my flowers out there drying, and there was part of that coconut fiber that I used in the last couple of videos. That was the end of it, guys. So we got it used up. I like to be able to use my stuff up. Now I'm just taking my good old wire cutters and I am just going to start the arrangement. And, you know, when I do this again, I'm going to just pin these flowers up so that they don't get smashed on one side, because these kind of got smashed on one side where I laid them down. So that is something I will do next time. So I'm just kind of putting them in there and kind of starting the arrangement. Now, I am not a florist or have really taken any classes. I've watched some videos on flower arranging, and I am doing the flowers for my son's upcoming wedding. But these were surprisingly easy to work with, and nothing came off. None of the plaster came off. I mean, I didn't squeeze the buds, but you know, they stayed intact. Now see how I put that foam there up a little bit? It makes it easier to put some things into the sides as I go along. These were those hydrangeas I've had forever and a day. And I think they turned out really, really cool with the with that wash on them that we did with just a little bit of brown paint and some water. It really antiqued them and made them look old. You know, like kind of like drying flowers. So we just carry on. I did go and just use some green and kind of put on the leaves as we were going. I went back and did that because I thought, well, we want a little bit of green, but that's all the green that is in this arrangement. Now I turned it around because I thought, well, you know, let's make the back look as good as the front. I concentrated on the front, but I still wanted the back to look good, and in an upcoming video I've got it where you could see the back because of the mirror that it's sitting in front of. So, you know, if you can, try to make it look good all the way around if you have the supplies for that. So here I've gotten the roses in. I cut that one rose off, just mess with them. But see, nothing came off. Oh, here, I'm cutting it off now. It was just too long. You can pull it out and just put it back in. So I just did the 3 colors, the pink and the yellow I love, and then that teal, which I think is my favorite color. I use the teal as kind of the accent pieces. And, you know, just messed with it and fooled with it, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I had a little piece of yellow there, like a little piece of what seemed like a hydrangea. So then I just stuck another piece in along with that was the same flower. So even if you do have bits and pieces, if you want a bigger clump of something, just stick them together. And honestly, you know, you really just make it what you want it. Make it pleasing to your eye. You're the one's going to have to pass by it if it's in your house and look at it and enjoy it. So make it what you want. And because I have been looking at flower arranging videos because of the wedding, and I mean, anything goes now, which is really cool. So, you know, sky's the limit, guys. So I'm just piddling in a mess in here, trying to finish it up. I felt like that needed to be a little bit taller, you know, just to give it a little bit of height. But like I said, whatever you want to do, if you don't want to make one this big, if you wanted to just take your flowers and lay them out like somebody was giving you a bouquet, you know, wrap some paper around it or a ribbon, that would be nice too, and just lay it like out as a spray, you know, like the flowers were drying in their wrapper. That would be neat too. Yeah, so just kind of filling it in. Now you want to give your flowers a little room to breathe, so to speak. So don't crowd them in there so much that there's no air in between them. You don't obviously want to see the foam underneath, but we are going to use some Spanish moss, which I think really gives this the kind of ooh, you know, little bit of a creepy factor. Oh, here it is. Now this I just picked up. You can get this, of course, anywhere, any variety store. I think I picked this up at the thrift store. So if you see this at a good price, you know, people get stuff, they use it for something, or they think they're going to, and then they're like, oh, I'm not going to use this. Pick it up, especially if it's a couple bucks, because even a bag like this could cost, you know, $5 and up. So it's good to have this stuff on hand so that when you do a project, you don't feel like, oh, shoot, I don't have the stuff to do it with. That's not generally a problem for me, guys, because junk is, yeah, my middle name. I've got the junk. Oh, so I'm just filling this in. But like I said, give your flowers, see how they're all at different heights. You know, give them a little room to breathe. If you're going to do any kind of flower arrangement, make them different heights. And that can be whatever you want. I feel like this is pretty traditional, would be a pretty traditional way to do it. But yeah, do however you like it. And then I like the Spanish moss kind of hanging down, kind of dripping down. And come back for a video coming up because I use this with some really creepy stuff. And I actually write something, I put something on the box, on the front of the box. So, all right, here we go. They're just filling it in. I think we get a visitor here pretty quick. I left part of this in because I just wanted you to see what I'm dealing with. they're so cats. You know, we have these cats in the neighborhood. Yeah, and he likes to come around. I guess I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, so all right. Oh, told you. Oh, well that. Okay, Wilfred. What do you? Well, tell me what you think of my arrangement here, buddy. Okay, look at him. He's like, oh, what is this thing? Let me check this out and see if I can knock it over. He's so cute. He is so friendly and so fluffy and so nice. I call him Wilfred Brimley. I think he looks like Wilfred Brimley in the face, an old actor. But yep, he's just up there messing and a fooling. I try to give him a little bit of attention. We are not his family. He has a real original family somewhere here in town. But he shows up. Look at him. All right. Okay, guys. So that is that. If you want to try this, it was super easy. Messy, but easy. So this is the modern day Nana. I hope you guys will like and subscribe.